Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sai. On behalf of Kirin Advisors, I welcome you all to the investor analyst meeting of Fly SBS Limited. So, from the management side, we have Captain Deepak Parshuraman, the Managing Director, Mr. Kannan Ramakrishnan, Non-Executive Director. So, to begin with, I would just like to give a small intro about the company, after which I would like to hand over the floor to the management so that they can give more details about the company. So Fly SBS Aviation Limited is a premium DGCA approved non-scheduled air charter operator based in Chennai, offering bespoke private jet services. The company operates through a combination of dry and wet lease agreements, providing high-end air travel solutions across both domestic and international sectors. Now, as said earlier, I would like to hand over the floor to the management. Over to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming on the call. At the outset, just to give a brief, Fly SBS was formed in May of 2020 and became operational from September of 2020. The entire business objective is to provide private jet services on charter basis. Private jets until 2018 remained the exclusive preserve for the rich, famous, the celebrities, and the politicians. Come COVID and go. A lot of people started exploring the ability to charter a jet, initially for their own safety and being cautious of the COVID conditions. And they realized that this is something very, very affordable by them, which brought in a huge market into this business with a wide diaspora, which led to the classic challenge of the skew between the demand and the supply. Well, the demand remains huge because the market overnight multiplied. There are very few aircrafts in the business. And as time continued, this market just added on by word of mouth and experience. And those who used it once continued to use it as their mainstay. So the demand continued to grow while the supply remained the same. And this is where Fly SBS saw an opportunity. We also saw two opportunities. Opportunity number one, that the demand is huge, there is no supply. Opportunity number two, that so far flying a private jet was only a matter of transportation to take you from point A to point B in a private aircraft. But where Fly SBS saw an opportunity was also to make it an experience, that a luxury experience for people, a 7-star luxury experience. And that is where we made a massive difference, and which is proved by the fact that 90% of our business in the last 3 years has been repeat customers. We are unable to widen our market base primarily because of the lack of assets. So this in a nutshell is what the business is all about. So Sai, accounts.
Yeah, good afternoon and welcome you all for this webinar. And Sai, we will run through the presentation quickly. Then post we can take the Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can move on. Yeah, our tagline is democratizing luxury in private air travel, and we would like to make this accessible for a larger contingent of deserving people, and so that is what we are endeavored up to. And so far, we have been successfully doing that. And this IPO and the proceeds, is to expand our fleet, and with the expansion of our fleet, we are confident that we can offer these services to more number of people who are looking forward such the services. Next. We started in 2020 and we are a DGCA approved NSOP operator, non-scheduled air operators permit holder. And we have a fleet of, 1 dry lease and 2 wet lease, the aircrafts. And going forward, we would like to have, the entire fleet homogenized with the dry lease aircrafts. Next. these are all various milestone, and of course, we are quite strong in the international charter as well, and we have done, multiple trips, for various, clients of ours, and we have flown, the more than 26 different countries across 6 continents, and we are what do you call I mean we are quite strongly expanding our foray into the international charters as well. Next. As I mentioned that, across the country, various, the touch points, we have, flown our aircraft with the client, and also internationally, most of the countries, across all the 6 continents, we have visited. Next. This is our board, and headed by Captain Deepak Parashuraman, comes with wealth of his experience in the aviation, and Mr. Amba Shankar, he comes with a long years of dealing with brands like Mercedes-Benz and Lexus, and myself, again, has put on more than two decades of experience dealing with luxury products and services. And Mr. Raghuram, comes with again a wealth of experience, having dealt with brands like Honda, Mercedes-Benz, and Lexus. Ms. Divya Mohan, is our independent director, is a practicing company secretary, and Mr. Vaidyanathan, very experienced ex-banker. So this constitutes our board. Next. Next. So the domestic, as I mentioned that, we provide, the connectivity between tier 1, tier 2 towns also, because we have seen that, the lot of people in the tier 1, tier 2 towns are wanting to experience this for the sheer, for the convenience and the connectivity. And we strongly believe that the infrastructure development is carried out by the government in terms of coming out new airports, and which will only further augment this demand. And this slide explains about the difference between dry lease and wet lease. And dry lease, of course, gives us the complete operational freedom. The asset can be used for the way in which we want, how much ever the hours we want. And we operate these dry lease aircrafts with multiple set of crews, because flight duty time limitations should not hamper the convenience to our customer. And that's the whole objective. And of course, wet lease, aircrafts comes with certain limitations in terms of usage. So that is the reason that, we'd like to have our entire fleet, over a period of time, fully with dry lease aircrafts. Next. We also work with the, the travel agents and brokers. We are part of, couple of, the association large, the private jet aggregating associations, where we get the inquiries, and the market so far is, is majorly handled by the the brokers who have got a direct connect with the target clientele. So we work with them some empanelment of 12 travel agents come brokers actually. And as Captain was mentioning, close to 90% of our business comes from the repeat client. So which means that we are good in terms of sourcing the client who have got the regular need, and also we have been doing something good to satisfy the customer requirements. That's the reason the people are coming back to us again and again. Next. This is a flow chart which talks about the complete process, right from the time our marketing and sales and marketing gets an inquiry for the flight, and finally how it culminates into activating the flight. There are various the touch points are there. How the operation is carried out, we have tried to capsulate in this flow chart, so that we will know that what kind of efforts going back door in terms of activating the flight. Next. So built on trust, ensuring the highest safety and quality standards. Our philosophy is that provide utmost importance to the operational safety and quality standards. There are no compromise whatsoever. And we are an organization certified by DGCA to have a oversight of the maintenance, which is called Continuous Airworthiness Management Organization. The highly skilled people are interviewed by the DGCA officials, and they are cleared and they have been continuously trained. So they do the oversight of our our service operations, and we also have an internal quality management department where the quality people assess the service standards and the safety standards. Next. We have a team of 22 full-time employees, and plus two of them, plus two on retainership basis. And we, as I mentioned, that we have multiple set of crews to operate the airport, and this employee strength includes our operating crew as well. Next. We are tied up with a DGCA approved MRO facility for maintaining our aircraft, and as I mentioned earlier, the oversight of the maintenance is in-house by our continuous airworthiness management department, and they supervise the quality of the services happening at the DGCA certified MRO. And this is our future fleet expansion plan, and the proceeds of the IPO will be used to get in 6 aircrafts, pre-owned aircrafts into our fleet. The 6 aircrafts constitute of 3 cabin sizes. Aircraft type 1 is a large with a 13-seater size, large cabin with 13-seater. Aircraft number type 2 is a mid-size cabin which has got a 8-seater capacity, and aircraft type 3 is a small size cabin which has got a 7 to 8-seater capacity. Next. These are total departures, and over a period of years, you have seen that the number of departures have increased, and also the number of unique destinations what we have touched also has increased. As far as crew is concerned, and in FY24, that is to be precise, December mid 2023, we got our air operators permit, and from then onwards we have been using our dry lease aircrafts, and the crew is on our rolls for the dry lease aircrafts. That's why from FY24 onwards, you are seeing the crew is separately mentioned in this chart. Next. This is the contribution from the revenue contribution from the dry and lease, and also across domestic and international. Next. This is a revenue contribution from HNIs and ultra HNIs and corporate clients. If you look at it, the graph clearly shows that most of our business comes from the corporate clients, industrialists, and also the HNIs and UHNIs. The popular myth is that the services are generally the private jet travel are undertaken by only the celebrities and the politicians, but that's not the fact. The lot of the corporate, lot of high net worth individuals, business people, industrialists, they are the one who uses these services mostly, and the celebrities and the political figures, the contribution is very, very minuscule in the overall scheme of things. Next. This industry has got a high, entry barriers, particularly on it is a highly regulated sector. Anybody who wants to start this business has to apply for the licenses and the security clearances. The entire process of getting the NSOP permit is anywhere between 2 to 2.5 years, and that serves as a natural entry barrier. And plus, getting the assets on lease is also another challenging factor. So these are all the factors need to be considered when it comes to the start of this business. So we enjoy the natural and strategic entry and regulatory edge being the early into this business. Next. Next. The global aviation market, is continuously on the rise, and what was growing at a 3% CAGR over the past so many years is expected to grow at 6 to 8% CAGR. Next. And so is the case, India has been eyed as one of the top, the global aviation market, and it is expected to grow at 24 to 26%, from 18 billion US dollar the market size in 24, it is expected to touch 50 to 55 billion dollars by 29. And so we are in a space where the exponential growth is going to be witnessed, and that's going to help expanding our business further. Next. This slide talks about how the international and domestic passenger is growing over a period of time. Next. So the private jet market, in FY24 was estimated to clock a business of around 274 million US dollars in India, and which is expected to grow at 13 to 15% CAGR over the next 3 years. And it's going to touch around 500 to 550 million US dollars. So the high growth rate is possible with the expansion of the fleet, and that's why we have undertaken this journey of taking our company to the capital market and raise funds for the expansion of the fleet. Next. Sorry, next. If you just see that, India is poised to become the third largest economy globally, and the aviation market is also growing. But the irony is that when it comes to the business aviation, India has got only 150 to 120 assets are there currently registered, and out of which only 70 to 75 are offered for a commercial charter. And so it is highly underserved. And whereas in comparison, a matured market like USA has got more than 15,500 assets. So you can understand the kind of the opportunity lying ahead of us. Next. There is a market share of the existing people. Very handful of people are there, and who has got multiple fleets, and almost all of them are either situated in Delhi or Bombay. So typically south, if you look at it, there are virtually no players are there, and particularly in Tamil Nadu, other than Fly SBS, no other competition is available. We are the only player who are offering aircraft under charter. And so the entire south is highly starved for the assets, and overall India also for its demand, the number of assets are offered are far less than its demand. Next. So we have strong demand drivers, surge in HNIs and UHNIs, and rising demand for flexibility and privacy and direct routes, and the growth in corporate travel, and so these are all the points which need to be considered, which will help us to expand the market. And the value proposition what we offer to the client makes these services are more affordable and more easily accessible to larger set of people. Next. This is a small comparison about the flying in a first class for a 10 to 12 hours of journey in a commercial airline vis-a-vis for flying as a contingent of 13 people and flying in our aircraft. What would be the cost? If you look at it, it is almost the same. And whereas the comfort and convenience is far larger in traveling in the private jet. Next. Next. So these are all our key financial highlights, and you can see that the both revenue and the PAT has been growing over the years, and primarily the jump in FY24 to 25 is on account of induction of our dry lease aircrafts towards the end of FY24, and in FY25 the full year effect of that aircraft is added to this, and that's why you are seeing the jump from FY24 to 25. Next. This is again, the statistics is from the P&L and the balance sheet. Next. Next. The last 3 years financials, P&L comparison. Next. Yeah. Sorry, next. Yeah. So the core business strength, which driving the growth is experienced promoters and senior management with extensive domain knowledge. Of course, myself and Captain Deepak and Amba Shankar, we strongly believe that, it's a right combination because Captain Deepak brings in a wealth of his aviation expertise and experience and having done this business in the past successfully, and he brings that wealth of knowledge to this business. Myself and Amba Shankar having, spent, more than 2 decades in products related to the luxury and and the services related to the luxury. So we exactly know what is the pulse of the customer and what need to be offered, how we can delight the customer, how we can win their hearts. So that is that we strongly believe is the strength for for this business. Then the strategic position in a high entry barrier industry, and fleet and existing flight operational experience and synergies with the group company is an important thing. None other competitor in India has got this unique advantage of backed up by a large commercial aircraft operating airline supporting this private jet business. The knowledge and expertise available in our group company Afcom Cargo, which runs 2 Boeing 737-800 aircraft, which is a large a large size the aircraft is a proper jetliner, and that skill and experience and the kind of the economics of scale, the benefit cost benefit what we could achieve there is naturally flows here. That becomes a unique advantage for this business, which none other competition has got in India. These are all the unique strength in Fly SBS in our business. Next. So our growth we are targeting through fleet expansion and market expansion. Once our fleet is expanded, apart from operating out of Chennai, and we would also to connect the other key markets in India. Just to tell you the fact that 6 markets contribute to the existing 95% the business happening in the business aviation industry in India: Delhi, Bombay, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. And we are present in Chennai, and we like to, with our fleet expansion, we like to present in other 5 key markets as well, so that we really become a pan-India market, pan-Indian player. Next. So this is a summary of 10 bullet points and what is the opportunity ahead. And I mean, whatever we have spoken about over the last many slides has been summed up in this. Next. Yeah, these details will be announced shortly. Next. Yeah, we can move on to the Q&A side.
Sure, sir. Okay. So dear investors, the floor is now open for Q&A session. If you have any questions, kindly raise your hand. I'll allow you to unmute and you can ask the questions. You can also write down your questions in the chat box. Also, due to time constraints, I would request all the investors to limit their number of questions to 1. So we have a question in chat box. Mr.
Yes.
Rajesh Sethia is asking, why is the operational cash flow dropped through? It is positive. Any specific reason for this?
Sir, come again, Sai.
Why is the operating cash flow dropped through? Dropped through. It is positive. Any specific reason for this?
See, operating cash flow is positive this FY25, and previous years, FY24, it was not, positive for a very simple reason. That is the year we just completed our capitalization, and this year, we have taken it to the balance sheet and amortizing it over a period of its lease period, and that's why the operating cash activities are, positive.
Okay, so the next question is from Mr. Prakash Israni. He's asking, sir, with the additional 8 aircrafts, what is our revenue opportunity, and will they all be inducted in the first half of FY26?
Sir, we are planning to add 6 more aircrafts. That is what we have mentioned in our object class also. And these aircrafts are, is a combination of different cabin size. And each of them, we plan to utilize it, over 65 hours on a minimum basis per month. And so that revenue will naturally get added to our, performance. And all the 6 aircrafts will be inducted before end of this fiscal. FY26 before end, all the 6 aircrafts will get inducted, out of which 4 will become operational before the end of this calendar year itself.
Okay, thank you for answering that, sir. Mr. Remy, you can go ahead and ask your questions. Mr. Remy, are you there? Mr. Akshay Jain, you can ask. Go ahead and ask your questions.
Good morning. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, first of all, I am happy investor in the Afcom, and congratulations for SBS as well going in the capital
Thank
market.
you very much to be investor in Afcom, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, my question was like, currently we are having 1 dry lease and 2 wet lease. Is that correct? And 2
Correct.
is what we are going ahead without the IPO proceeding. And is that correct? 13-seater one, which I saw in the slide, like 2 13-seater is what we are going ahead with before the IPO or something like that?
Yes, sir. We have already, put an LOI, the process of, coming in. Basically, we would like to expand, with 6 more aircrafts.
Mm-hmm.
That is why, we are raising this fund. And the activity of, sourcing the aircraft has started already. And because, we all know that, these assets are in great demand. And we can't, wait for the IPO to get over and then start the process. That will delay the induction process. So that's why we have already begun that. And that's why we are very confident that 4 of the intended 6 aircraft expansion will get completed before this the calendar year itself.
Okay. And so the dry lease is basically for these plane are for 5 years is what it is or how it is?
It is a 6 to 8 years lease period, sir.
Okay. And sir, like 80-95% odd we are the revenue is getting generated from the corporate clients. So do we have some kind of a agreement with them, or like these many flying hours they'll use, or what kind of business, like how it is? So can you please explain that?
Sir, because of want of the assets, we haven't got into any sort of agreements, but these clientele are very happy in using our services. That's why they are coming back. We try our level best, to accommodate their itinerary as much as possible with the given shortage in the assets. And so once we have our asset strength is expanded, so we will definitely get into some sort of agreements, with this regular, the people who are using our services. Currently, getting into an agreement, is not justifiable.
Okay, sir, because of one fleet. Yeah. And so like one dry lease which we have, can you just bifurcate the revenue which is generated for complete 2025 year? Like, can you just let us know, like 2025, the last year? Yeah, the complete year we had one complete dry lease plane with us, right?
Correct,
sir?
correct.
Yeah. So what was the revenue for that?
Correct. See, I think it is there in the slide itself, sir, and in the financial slide itself, the dry lease and wet lease, the contribution is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like it is also based on the fleet, like how many flights we are taking, the revenue would increase, and we have optimized the utilization of that, like it is 100% was used, or how it was?
Sir, we have internally budgeted 65 hours of utilization per the asset per month, but whereas in reality, our utilization is more than 74 hours.
Okay.
But that can further be pushed, provided we have a larger fleet, and then the positioning of the aircraft also will happen in the places where the demand is more, so that we don't miss inquiries, and we can optimize the asset utilization further.
Okay. And so the prices are with respect to per hour usage, or it is miles based, sir?
No, sir, it's per hour of usage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for
Thank
all
you,
that
sir.
input,
Thank you, sir.
and
Thank
all
you.
the
Bye.
very best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Venkatesh Swarlu, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Congrats for the
Good afternoon,
IPO.
Thank
I
you.
have a question is like since we are going to recruit new 6 flights, are we going to recruit new captains as well for the driving?
Yes, sir. For every aircraft, we'll be having multiple sets of crew. As the aircrafts are inducted, we'll have multiple sets of crew for each aircraft.
Okay, okay. So, do you have this revenue projections for 26 and 27 financial years?
So we can give a kind of guidance, and the thing is that, as I mentioned, see, currently the revenue whatever we are doing is with the 3 aircrafts, and when we are adding 6 more, and that too within this financial year, for the next whole year, the entire fleet is available for putting into the best use of it. So obviously you can extrapolate the potential available actually. But I'm sorry, we are constrained, to give any forward-looking statements.
Okay, okay. At least regarding the margins, can we maintain the same margins or margins will be
It'll only get better,
increased?
sir.
It will only get better,
It'll-
sir, because yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, sir. I'll be in queue. I'll
Thank
ask.
you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Remy, you can go ahead and ask your questions. So we'll address some questions in the chat box. So we have a question from Mr. Dibesh Agrawal. So he's asking, can you please discuss a little about our market share in industry?
Sorry, sir, come again.
Market share in the industry.
Sir, we are a south-based operator, basically from Tamil Nadu, and in south states, we already have a market share of close to around 34%. And but on a larger pan-India level, if you look at it, most of the assets are positioned either in Delhi and Bombay, which are the major markets. So on a pan-India basis, our current level of operation will qualify as somewhere around 7 to 8% of market share. But once we have a fleet, and once we present in other markets, we will fight for the better market share on a pan-India level.
So the next question is from Mr. Sahil. He's asking, do we need to dilute further to maintain our operations in the coming years, or we will go for debt funding?
So the further expansion can happen through the internal accruals, and of course the institutional support. It can happen.
Okay. So the next question is from Mr. Manoj Kulchandani. He's asking, when are the 2 planes expected to be operational? Also, 6 additional plane viable IPO. Also, 6 additional plane planned via BIPO process. What would be this timeline for them to be operational? Would you induct all in one go or stagger them?
Sir, all these 6 aircrafts, what we are planned and what we have committed will get inducted in this financial year, before the end of this financial. And as I mentioned earlier, out of that 6, 4 will get inducted before this calendar year end itself.
So Mr. Ashok Deora is asking, notice that Mr. Kannan is shown as non-executive director. Is he part of KMP?
I am not part of the KMP, sir.
Okay.
I'm the
So-
director. I'm holding the position of a director here.
And promoter.
And promoter, yes.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Naman. He's asking why promoter holding is too low. In investor community, generally it is considered as bad. What's your message for investors?
Sir, we are first generation entrepreneurs, very passionate about the business and grow the business. So we do not mind diluting our stakes, but build the business.
Sir, Prakash Israni is asking for revenue guidance of FY26 and FY27.
So we'll not be able to make any forward-looking statements or projections.
But we have, as I mentioned that, the fleets are getting added. Currently, we are operating the number of assets, it's been mentioned, and we are getting 6 more aircrafts, inducted in this financial year. So the next financial year, the entire fleet of, the 9 aircrafts will be there. So it is easy to extrapolate.
Mr. Ajay, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. Mr. Venkatesh, you can go ahead and ask your questions.
Sir, I missed one question. So, total we are going to recruit 6, and we already have 3. That means total 9. Am I correct?
Yes.
You're right,
So,
sir.
okay. So when I asked about the revenue guidance, you told like with 3 we already making so and so PAT for financial year 25, and
That's right.
with 6, not 6, with 9 I have to project it, right? I have to extrapolate.
The next financial year, we'll have a
9.
fleet of 9. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ajit Fernandez is asking, with such good margin in the business, what stops bigger operator, that is other airlines, to enter this? How do we foresee future competition?
So there are 2 things here. One is that the market is large, the pie is very large. So there is a room for a lot of people to come into the market without cutting each other. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is that if you will see, our client retention is over 90%, which shows that it is just not transporting people from point A to point B, but customizing it and bringing value for money and a bespoke experience. And that is the second thing. And thirdly, sir, the fact of the matter is, when they see any successful business, as the case may be, many people will try and jump into this business. A classic example, sir, the low-cost carriers were there in the country worldwide 35 years before Captain Gopinath started it in India. Now, if most airlines in India are low-cost carriers, so that is bound to happen in the future, by which time the pie will grow larger. As Kannan sir gave an example earlier, India is the 4th largest economy, climbing to the 3rd largest economy, with a very large population and growing millionaires on a daily basis. The total number of aircraft available in the country, either for charter and such services, is only 70. Whereas in a mature economy like the United States, there are 15,800 aircraft. So there is a wide gap to be covered. So there is room for many more people to come.
Okay. Thank you for answering that, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Rohan, you can go ahead and ask your questions. Mr. Rohan, are you there? Mr. Chirag, you can go ahead and ask your questions.
Sir, I find that in the cash flow statement, your operating cash flow is almost nil. So, just wanted a few clarifications regarding this trade receivable. What is your payment cycle? In how many days do you get this payment, and how do you going to address this cash flow issue of operating, operating cash flow being almost nil?
Okay. The first thing is operating cash flow. we have been investing onto, future assets, and those assets, once it comes and becoming operational, so that, from the operating activity will go into the financing activity. So naturally, the operating cash flows, will reflect the right one. Currently, it has gone, some of the assets, whatever we have already, put in the deposits and LOI, and these are all appearing onto the operating activity. That is the reason. Number two, with regards to the cycle, the debt cycle, debtor cycle.
Receivable.
Yeah, receivables. So generally, any new client comes and it is the money upfront. Actually, we collect the entire, the travel cost, or, at least a major portion of it, upfront before we undertake the travel. But when it comes to the regular clientele, repeat clientele, so it is, some amount of advances is received, and then, the travel is undertaken, and subsequently it is, collected back. And third important thing is, most of our business comes from the international, the charters, and international charters, we complete it and we allow to wait for certain amount of time for us to come, get all the bills from various touch points we have traveled, and to receive the ground handling related bills and other, customer lounge access related bills and various other, and so on, so forth. So that is the reason there is a time lag. So this is offered only for our regular clientele. So any
Like-
which way, the cycle is not, more than 30-35 days time.
Okay, but mostly as you said, 90-95% are your repeat clients, right?
90%, yeah.
Yeah. So what one I feel is this is a risk for you, isn't it? Even if one or two clients back out, a major percentage of your business will be hampered.
Sir, it is not a concentration risk, sir. The demand is so huge. We have very less assets, and that's the reason, we are not in a position, to go and encourage, new set of inquiries which are keep on coming, and new set of customers, whom we would like to enroll into our services. We are not in a position to do that, because with the current, the availability of the assets, it will not be, giving a proper, opportunity to serve them, and we will cut a sorry figure only. That is the reason we have not. The day we expand our assets, and, the lot of, the inquiries, or lot of clientele who want to get us, themselves associated with us, we can encourage and get them onto our road. So the concentration risk can be further, divested.
So in continuation of this, what are the factors with why would people would like to associate with Fly SBSs, in spite of you not having the fleets?
So the fact is that nobody in the country has that kind of a fleet in relation to the demand. That is point number one. Point number two is, since we have a limited fleet, we are compelled to continue serving our clients who are repeat clients, because they've been using our services. Yeah, we do have a lot of people approaching us for the flights, and as the fleet increases, our client base will also widen.
And what could be the, what are the future projections in terms of what should be a percentage of revenue which is from the new clients?
So we will look at it, because every time we add an asset, we will be adding a set of new clients to it. So the divesting of the, what should I say, client dependency will change, because we will not increase the percentage of repeat clients over increased flights.
Sorry, I could not comprehend this properly.
Okay, it's like this, sir. If we get a new aircraft, we will consciously encourage the newer clients to come in, whereas whatever we are serving our existing clients, we will not be able to increase the number of flights for them. But we will bring a few new clients so that our client base increases.
Absolutely. So that would be a good step, definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, we have questions in the chat box. So we have a question from Mr. Remy. He's asking, why are we coming up with this IPO at very low valuations, despite our proven capabilities, and we have proved with AFCOM also?
So the fact is very simple. There are two aspects to this. The valuation and the issue price, we go by what is the guidance given by the merchant banker. That's point number one. Point number two, our objective is not to encash the full valuation as of date, but also ensure that our investors also make money.
Okay, thank you for answering that, sir. The next question is from Mr. Harshad Talur. He's asking, is your pricing comparable and competitive to that of your peers? What is your strategy to gain market share? And as I understand, that pricing significantly influences which carrier the client chooses.
So let us be very clear here that pricing is not a limiting factor in the use of private jets. But generally, the pricing depends on what the overall market pricing is today. That's point number one. But the differentiating factor is not the pricing. Undercutting does not work because the number of assets are very little, demand is high. So the pricing will remain where it is. The underlying differentiator will be the services you are able to provide. For example, if you will go in the net and see, there are some people who say that in 42 hours notice we will fly for you. For our clients, domestic flights, we do it in a notice as low as 4 hours. On international, there have been cases where as low as 6 hours we have got airborne for our clients. So it is the services which becomes a differentiating factor, and the experience of being flying a bespoke luxury service becomes a differentiating factor for the same price.
Okay, thank you for answering that, sir. The next question is from Chandan Singh. He's asking, what is company's vision and mission to grow the business with respect to current market share and fleet and geography in the next 5 years?
Yeah, our tagline is democratizing luxury, which means that we want to take these services offerings, to a large set of people across the geographies. So immediate thing is mission is that, we would like to become a pan-Indian operator because, we know that with our approach and with our unique product offerings, and we can cater, and satisfy the clientele and where the larger markets, is we are not present. So we would like to become a pan-Indian operator is our mission, to begin with immediately. And of course, this business is highly scalable and it's highly, there is no geographical, limitations, and we can plug and play this, into different geographies also. And that is also as a long-term vision we carry.
Thank you for answering that, sir. Mr. Rohan, you can go ahead and ask your questions.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Sorry, last I was facing an issue to unmute actually. So
Okay.
congratulations on the IPO.
Thank
you, sir.
I think since people have been waiting for this since a long time now, one of the most awaited SMEs IPOs. Sir,
Yes, sir.
just a couple of questions. So firstly, wanted to understand what is the revenue potential per aircraft? Like you all are going to have a fleet of say 9 aircrafts. So what is the revenue potential per aircraft? Like say if you take an average hours per month that you do 60 or 65 per month. So what kind of revenue can one expect?
Sir, I mean, just on it's not as a forward-looking statement, just as a kind of, very conservatively estimated on an average between the cabin sizes, we can expect, a minimum, around 60 crores of, revenue planned, per aircraft.
Okay, and this is more like conservative, we feel.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this would be based on like how many hours? Say it's all 13 seaters. So how many hours you are taking like for this assumption?
So we are taking 65 hours is our internal projections, and whereas currently we are doing around 74 hours. We have clocked on an average. But when we have a fleet and when we know that we are going to operate the fleet with multiple set of crews, and in fact, the current aircraft itself, we have 3 full set of crews and 3 pilot in command, 3 co-pilots, and 3 cabin crews. So we don't use the opportunity or provide that flexibility to our client. So once the fleet, is in place and with the multiple
Yeah.
crews, I think, we can easily overshoot this 74 hours of average per month easily.
Oh, okay, sir. So, and what is a fixed cost per, say, a 13-seater? Like, what is a fixed cost, the lease and the crew cost, like on, like just a broad
Sir,
range?
let me answer your question in slightly different, sir. And we on a 13-seater aircraft, we do a break even of around 37, 38 hours. We do a break even with all
Oh,
costs inclusive, except the general administrative cost, which is very negligible.
okay, 37 hours per month, that's it, and you will be
Yes,
break
yeah,
even.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
great. Sir, nextly is this two aircrafts. The deposit has been paid, the ones you are saying that which will be coming in August.
Correct, sir. See, we have to, I mean, as we have been keep on mentioning that, finding the right asset at the right price point is a very key challenge, in this business. And so we don't want to wait this IPO to get completed, then the funds are
Correct.
with us. So as and when, we have identified some good asset with a good proper maintenance track record at a right price point, we have gone ahead and placed, a smaller deposit with our funds, on LOI, so that, the assets are locked, so that, post the IPO, we don't waste much of the time in sourcing the asset.
Yeah, understood. So the
Yes,
deposit has been paid for these two, you're
yes,
saying.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay.
Some of,
And sir, in
yeah.
the okay, and sir, in the presentation, the six aircrafts all are 13 seaters, or there are some other variants also that we are targeting?
No, sir, 13-seater is there, and also smaller cabin, 3 aircrafts are there.
Okay,
Because
that would be how much? 11 or
what, 11?
no, the other three aircrafts are how many seaters?
7 to 8 seaters, sir, which
Okay,
has
seven to
got an endurance of flying non-stop, up till 4 hours, and with a 6 to 7 seater, smaller cabin. So the price
okay,
point will be an entry level, so that we can
understood.
get more number of newer people, into this services.
Okay, sir, understood. Sir, and per, like how much can an aircraft, like these smaller aircrafts, these 13-seater or 9-seater, how many hours can they fly in a month? Like what is permissible, the maximum
Sir,
that it can be
there is
done?
no, sir, there is no permissibility, sir. It is depending upon the demand and, the crew availability. We can push these machines, how much ever we want.
Okay, but there's no like gap requirement that okay, after a distance of this much or after a flying time of this much, there'll be 2 hours.
There are
Uh,
certain inspections required at certain
Intervals.
flight hour intervals. That's about it.
okay, that's it. Okay, sir. Sir, and one thing I
The
wanted to
manufacturer,
understand.
manufacturer himself, I mean, themselves, they have got two categories, low utilization and high utilization. So their entire, globally, they know that, certain geographies, these assets will be utilized very less. And in certain geographies, or certain, industries, these assets will be used more. So that's why they themselves have this classification. So pushing the assets, is not an issue. As Captain rightly said, the more you use, certain additional checks need to be performed in that given intervals.
The manufacturer brings two kind of maintenance program. One is called lump and other is called hump. Low utilization maintenance program and high utilization maintenance program to facilitate the use of the aircraft. The aircraft is used less, the maintenance costs go lower. The aircraft is encouraged to be used more, then the maintenance schedules are accordingly planned.
Okay, okay, understood. Okay. Sir, now last question, like the dry lease contribution was quite low last year. So considering this will be the main segment going forward, so can we expect margins to go up, say, by 200 or 300 basis points or
So once the entire fleet is homogenized with the dry lease aircrafts, obviously, the economics of scale kicks in, and, flexibility of operating the assets, for a larger clientele, and, higher number of hours. All these things will contribute, to the better performance. And let's also be aware about the fact that, we just had only one asset on dry lease where we have a complete this thing, and that asset, and again, the demand is scattered across the country. We can't be omnipresent in all the places. So
Hmm,
these are all the limitations.
yeah. Okay. And sir, this we were hearing some stuff about subscription models in this sector. So are we planning anything on that? Like that would be a good thing to lock in demand, right?
Sir, eventually, that is the direction in which we would like to go. And, I mean, all our the steps are towards that, and the expansion of fleet and the mix of the fleet is also, keeping that, the vision in mind only. Sooner
Yeah.
we'll
So
have the good news on that.
so that will apart from demand, it will also help us improve our working capital, I'm assuming. Like we'll receive a lot of advance payments and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
You are right, sir. Absolutely. And also, not only that, going forward, that will, guide us what sort of assets we need to include into our, fleet.
Yeah, understood. Okay, sir. I think sir, this lastly is one is the tenure of the lease. Like this
Six,
one dry lease you have mentioned is till December 28. So generally, what tenure we go for?
6 to 8 years, sir.
Okay, sir.
Six
Okay,
to
sir. Thank you so much, and
8 years is
all the
what.
best, sir, for the listing.